Music production.
Yeah, I'm back again. I'm on my grind as I should be, being productive in my community, and for all the free minds that are individuals and that are willing to tune in and give me a shot to share some of this information with them out there. And shouts out to all the people that are out there that are great at sharing information and that are on the ball and know their stuff, man. And I really commend all those types of people that are out there. I know there's more than just, you know, the people that you see on the internet or whatever. I know that there's a lot of conscious people out there and a lot of successful people who have gone through their struggles and gone through all their tests and tribulations and everything, and that they know that we're doing this every day, that it's the continuous thing, and that we keep on trying. And I just wanted to encourage everybody on their mission. Got one of the trucker homies that's down here, and I just waved to him. He's got great energy. He barely even speak any English, and we just got the greatest energy for years already. Now I love that connection with people, that we all know that we're connected. But I did want to lend a little bit of help and encouragement to everybody to keep going. You know, don't ever stop. Don't ever forget that you're free. You were born here to be free, and that you're full of great, amazing things, and you can accomplish anything you put your mind to. And so I don't want you to get discouraged on your road. I want to share a little something that's a kind of personal to me, and there's more things in the future I'd like to share that's kind of personal to me. But one of the most recent tests, well, not recent, I would say, but one of the biggest tests I went through in my life in the recent years, probably about, I don't know, a little over 14 years ago. But the thing is, the point is, I don't want you guys to get discouraged and rely on friends and family when you're starting a successful venture of any sort. When you're stepping outside of the box of familiarity and people don't know what you're doing, they're gonna look at you sideways, and I want you to expect that and don't get discouraged. I know I touched on that in another video, but I want to kind of touch on it again. For when we went through the deficit in 2008, it really hit about 2010. In that time, a lot of things were changing in my life, and the house that we were staying at also ended up going upside down, and I ended up almost homeless for a little while as I was getting things together. I went through all my tests and all the negativity in the matrix and all those kind of things throughout a test in my life throughout many years. And I feel like this was part of the beginning of the end of the negative structure. And at that time, as I was getting myself back together, then more disaster struck with the bigger parts of the crash. I almost ended up homeless, and luckily wasn't friends, it wasn't family, it was my neighbors who were willing to take me in. Yeah, I was renting a room at one neighbor's house for a while. Then I moved over to the other neighbor's house for a while. It was a trip. And I was literally like 2 inches away from being on the street or sleeping in my car. And none of that support, though, came from the people in my immediate circle. I did make new friends that were supportive in that circle. But at that time, and I'm not blaming friends, you know, for not being the sole source of support, but it did wake me up, and I realized that maybe some of the ties that I considered aren't as strong as I thought, or they're just going through some things, you know what I mean? But on the unfortunate side would be that our ties aren't as strong as I thought. On the fortunate side, they're just going through some things just like everybody else. The communication in those times was really low, and I didn't hear from anybody. Nobody reached out. I reached out to people, but I rarely heard from people. And as I was starting to work, doing something that, I don't know, maybe people thought it was whack or whatever, but it was my way to survive. I had to kill all that excess pride that the Matrix built up on me to get rid of all that false ego stuff, and realize that I was being too good for myself, and that every time I'm too good for myself, another door would close that would actually save my life. So I had to get rid of all that. And I guess that wasn't as popular because people didn't want to talk to me anymore, or that's how it seemed. Or maybe it was that, I was a music guy, and that now that whatever I'm doing is not popping, they didn't want to come around anymore. Or that maybe I was, doing some other activities that they can indulge in or benefit from. And now that I'm not doing that, they don't want to come around anymore. But you could kind of see how there is a negative quotient added to everything all the time. That there's, oh, since you're doing something that, that I can't benefit from, then I'm not going to be there around. See that? So the only time a lot of people were around when there was something they could benefit from. And that stood out to me. And over the years that I had to struggle, over the years and weeks that I went without eating at night, having breakfast, out here grinding, people looking at me funny, me having to learn what this practical side of business was about, I didn't hear from anybody. I didn't hear from anyone. Yeah, I take that back. There were a few people. You know what I mean? Shouts to those people. You know who you are. And I love you. But everybody else I had to take with a grain of salt, and I had to step back. And that's why and I didn't quit either. I kept going. And the reason I think I kept going, though, was because my life literally depended on it. So I learned how to approach new adventures, new journeys, things that you want to accomplish or conquer, new goals you want to conquer. I figured out that you have to approach them as if your life depends on it. You can't do it like it's just a hobby and you don't take it seriously. And even if it is a hobby, you better go at it. Put your heart in it. Don't look back, and don't look to your friends or family for the immediate support. Look to the public. All the support for things I've done in the past 14 years with the junk business has come from the public more than it's come from friends or family. I think you should take a mental note of that. Write that down. And don't look to your friends or family unless you want to get discouraged, unless you want to get talked out of what you're trying to do. Because as I covered in another video, the narrative in their mind and everyone's individual mind is for them winning. And sometimes the picture of them winning is not a healthy picture. So you're going to have to wake up and realize that a lot of things in your life are your journey and your journey alone. And you don't have time to carry all kinds of hate. You don't have time to, I'm gonna get on the internet and make a diss video and all this stuff. You simply have time to keep going. You gotta keep the boat afloat, and you gotta keep going. And if you do everything right, hopefully one day you have a life of abundance, and that you have a comfortable life, and you can look back on the situation and say, I remember a time. But if you're still in it, you got to keep going. You're going to have to stay strong and positive, and only keep those positive people around you. Again. Keep the good around you. In order to do good, you need good energy around you. You can't do bad and expect good. Can't do good and then start doing bad like you built up good points. And you never want to start iffy at anything unless you don't have a choice. But know this, starting iffy ends iffy. And if anything at all, I feel like I was fitting into that category in the beginning. There was nothing I had to work with at the time. The doors and avenues that I was working with in music at that time all closed because of the deficit. So I had literally almost nothing to work with. And I simply picked up anything that I had at my disposal, and that's where I started getting busy. And that's what I want to encourage you to do too. Don't ever feel like you don't have what it takes to get it started. It's there, it's all around you, and it always has been. But maybe your state of mind, maybe your perspective is a little bit skewed. Maybe you're looking for a specific image or reputation or some type of satisfaction or gratification from whatever position or title that you want to hold. And so you don't want to get caught up in that. You would rather just do what makes sense, because practicality always wins. Tomorrow you can have a service. Tomorrow you can have a product that you're starting to get manufactured, but you won't know until you look into it and see what's around you that you need to work with. And you won't know the challenges unless you ask the questions. And you can't be intimidated. And by the way, if you ask the questions, you might find that you're not very intimidated. If you ask the questions, you might find that you're not very intimidated at all. And you say, wow, what were we waiting for? We could have been doing this the whole time. And hey, learning is a powerful thing, and it's a beautiful thing when you figure that out, that hey, we were all worried about things that were told to us in a strange manner, not in the manner that it actually takes place in. So I mean, like, sometimes you might hear a figure like it'll cost you $20,000 to start a business. Can be true, not always true. Depends on what you're doing. Depends on how big what you're doing is going to be. All those things matter. So before you get intimidated, before you make up a narrative for yourself and your future and all your possibilities and what you're capable of doing, stay steady. Use that energy, get down to the bottom of all the questions. Look around you, see what you got. See what skills you picked up already, because they are skills. They're not just something to pass the time. Believe me, they have a title and a place in this world. So you have some skills, no matter what. A lot of, dare I say this, a lot of drug dealers are entrepreneurs without knowing it. Yep, and that's the sad truth. That's the sad truth. A lot of hustlers would take over the commercial industry if they just would take their time and if they stop worrying about what other people freaking think about them. Screw them anyway. What they gonna do? I'll tell you what's gonna happen in the higher sense though. Once you get something popping, once you get something jumping off, then you're gonna be able to help a lot of other people. Instead of just, oh, well, I had it for a little while, then it slipped, or, oh, I had it, but I had a bunch of fiends and vampires around me, a bunch of parasites and stuff, and then it's just gone. Instead, if everybody doesn't want to do the same thing, we could have a lot more opportunity. We could spin things. People could be doctors, lawyers, scientists, rocket scientists, all kinds of things, engineers and such, anything. I'm just saying, there was a lot of ways we could spin the wheel out here and we could help each other. Of course, the black community, and of course, everyone else too. But I feel like the minority community, that they like to call it, even though, around the world, we're the majority, it's truth. But I still say that we need some help here, and we need to start changing our mentality to shift it into a healthier place so we can start seeing the world and our life and potential for what it is. I feel like you're all beautiful. I feel you're all beautiful people out there. I am just so happy to be able to reach so many wonderful people and share a message that always says that you're so special. And I mean that. And it's one of the only ways that I'll ever get to do that, to tell the whole entire world, anyone that can hear this, that I think you're special and I love you. And I don't have no beef with you. I just want you to do your thing. I don't want you to not hate on me when you see me doing my thing. And let's support each other. And let's open up lines of communication and let's be mature about it. Yeah, I know you're busy. I'm busy too. That's all right. We'll come back when we can and let's communicate. That's the best thing we could do. Let's feel it. Let's feel out the tides in the river. You know what I mean? Together. And we're so connected together, and it's a wonderful thing. It's a wonderful thing, and I just wanted to share that with you, how much I admire the human complexity, how sophisticated we really are, and how special we really are, and how powerful we really are. And I don't want anyone to ever have a time in their life where they forget that or don't think that. And if there's that negativity around you, and you have to deal with it for right now, do what you gotta do. But always remember to make a safe place for yourself. And then get free. Surround yourself with the people that you wanna see in your life, not the people that are immediately just placed in your life. Seek out your mentors. Seek out your circles. Do what you need to do. Be great, because the greatness lives within you. All right, I love y'all. Till the next time. Peace out.